Hey guys, and welcome to the video. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Sarah, and this is going to be a really exciting video, I think, because I am doing my very first of my whole life project pan. So for those of you who don't know what that is, basically I'm just going to pick a bunch of stuff from my beauty collection that I want to either hit pan on or finish completely, give myself a time span, and that is the project pan, just to see if I can finish it or at least hit pan on it by the end of the time that I give myself. So that's what it is. So I've decided to do 10 products in 10 months. I don't know if that's like a lot or if it's not really a lot. I think it kind of depends on the items that I'm picking. But I did recently just watch one of my favorite YouTubers, Arna Elaine, do 18 in 2018. So she's doing 18 products in 12 months. So that seems like a pretty big challenge to me, but honestly I don't know. It kind of depends. I did pick quite a few powder products and I think those are a lot harder to go through, so I'm just going to get right into it and showing you guys the stuff that I plan to hopefully hit pan on. So I'm going to go in order of kind of the way that I naturally apply things to my face. So the first thing that I want to finish up is this MAC eyebrow pencil in Lingering. So I actually received this, and quite a few of the items here I think I received in a BoxyCharm, and because I feel like I get so much stuff in BoxyCharm that I actually like and want to keep, I don't tend to go through all of it very quickly, and sometimes I just don't use it like at all because I find something that I like and then I don't use other things, and you know, just the endless cycle of new makeup. So I did get this brow pencil in a BoxyCharm, and luckily it is the right shade for my face. I'm wearing it right now. Now the thing with this is there's not necessarily going to be hitting pan on it, but I do want to just completely use it up because I do like it, but honestly it's just sitting in my collection because I don't use it. And the main reason that I haven't been using it honestly is because it doesn't have a spoolie on the other end. So it just has the pencil on one end and then just like nothing. So basically that is just the lazy person in me not wanting to use a brow pencil simply because it does not have a spoolie on the other end, which in turn I have to use an extra spoolie, so I have to use two things, and I just don't end up using it that much simply for that reason. But I'm pretty sure I can finish a singular eyebrow pencil in 10 months. So basically the goal is just to finish this. Moving on to something I have actually talked about on my channel before. That is my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Now I mentioned this I think the last time in my product kind of expiration date video. And basically I realized that I've had this for quite some time, and it just needs to kind of get worked out of my collection because it's getting old basically. So when I first bought this, funnily enough, I really enjoyed it, and for some reason, I don't know if it's just because I've had it for a while and it's getting weird, I don't seem to like it as much. But I do know that a lot of the products that I buy in the summertime tend to look a little bit different on my skin in the wintertime as they would with skin type and skin tone. My skin tone tends to get a little bit more fair, which this is fine for because this is in the shade Snow, so it's pale enough. But as for skin type, I do get a lot drier, and although this is supposed to be, I think, like a more hydrating foundation, I don't really find it to be that way, so I do tend to get a little bit extra dry still with this in the winter, and that's why I haven't been really using it. So I really just want to get through this so I can get it out of my collection and hopefully find a foundation that I prefer a lot more than this one. So moving on to a face powder, I have the L'Oreal True Match Powder. This is the pressed powder, super blendable, and it's in the neutral shade Soft Ivory. So this is actually an amazing powder from the drugstore. It is just like a face powder. I don't know if you would say that this is like a powder foundation. It definitely does have some coverage to it, but I use it to set my concealer, and I wouldn't probably use this just on its own. So I have had this probably not for too long, but I feel like it's just one of those things that's going to take a long time to go through because I only use it to set my concealer. So I wanted to include it in this project pan just because I want to basically just see like how I'm using it and how fast I'm using it, and I guess I'm just curious with this one. I do kind of want to find a different face powder after this one I think just with a little bit more coverage, because this one is nice and it does have decent coverage when I cover my face with it, but I definitely want to find something I think a little bit more full coverage than this. So it would be nice to go through it and then hopefully find a new face powder. So moving on to bronzer, I want to hit pan on my Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. I've used this in quite a few videos. I think I've had this one in particular, I want to say it's been close to a year. It could be less than that. I'm not 100% sure when I bought this one, but I find that this one you don't go through it very fast. Like, it looks brand new and it's definitely not brand new. So I do actually have this on my face right now. It is a very, very nice bronzer. I think I want to find something a little bit more cool toned or in a lighter shade, because this is nice, but you have to use a very, very light hand with it because it's very pigmented. I do want to mention quickly that I do also have this powder and this foundation on my face today so that you can see those in action. Moving on to a blush. This is the Body Shop Shimmer Waves in the shade Coral. I absolutely love this blush, but I've had it for close to a year and a half now, and I am nowhere near hitting pan on this. I do think this is a baked blush. It seems like it's a baked blush, and I've noticed that a lot of my baked products I tend to go through a lot slower. So basically I really just want to start going through this because, like I said, I've had it for about a year and a half, and the expiration date actually is 18 months, so a year and a half. So it is at its expiration date, but I definitely know that powders can go a lot further than that, especially because this is just something that I'm using on my cheeks, so it's not really, I feel like my cheeks don't collect that much bacteria, I hope. And I do honestly love this blush. It's what I have on today. I did try to use the most of the products, like, except for one. I think there's only one product that I'm talking about that I don't actually have on my face today, and that's just because I didn't think it went with this makeup look. But I do actually really like this blush, and I would definitely repurchase it, but I think I've just had it for too long, and I think honestly one of the things I have the most of in my collection is blush, so I don't really go through them very quickly. So hopefully we can just hit a little bit of pan on this guy. So this is the Bare Minerals Translucent Powder Duo. So I actually got this one as well in a BoxyCharm. It has two different powders that look almost the same on camera, but one of them is a matte finish and one of them is an illuminating finish. So the matte finish I really don't care that much for, just because I have rather dry skin and I really don't like to look super matte anyways. It just doesn't look good on my skin type. So I basically just want to hit pan on the glowing illuminating one. It's like a little bit more pink. This one has a kind of marble pink and white effect going on to it, so that's how you know which one it is. This one is a bit of a different purpose than the True Match, is basically just because this is one that I set my entire face with, whereas my True Match I just set my under eyes, because I find the under eye area for me, like, no matter how much foundation or concealer I put, always tends to need a little bit more coverage, whereas the rest of my face I just want to set it so that the makeup is set in place, and I do like to have a bit more of a luminous finish overall, so that's why I really want to try to hit pan on the illuminating powder in this duo. Moving on to something slightly controversial, but I'm going to talk about it anyways because I'm just going to be honest, you guys. I have the Lime Crime Venus palette here. For those of you who have been watching my channel from the beginning, you know that I have this because my first makeup tutorial was using this, and that was about a year and a half ago. So at the time when I did purchase this palette, I like didn't know anything about any sort of controversy with a brand. I know a lot of people are super against using this brand now just because of kind of what went down, but I have had this palette for about a year and a half now, and I really would just like to go through it because basically, honestly, the real reason I want to go through this is because I feel like I can't use it in tutorials and I can't use it in anything like related to social media because people will just freak out, I feel. I know there's still a lot of people on YouTube that do use this brand and do stand by this brand. I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I don't necessarily think that I believe in the company itself, but I do absolutely love this eyeshadow palette. If I'm being real, maybe they're a shady company, maybe people don't like them, and maybe there's some controversy, but I just don't think you can really knock the quality of the shadow because the quality of these shadows is seriously amazing. It is actually probably one of the best eyeshadow formulas that I've used in my time using makeup over the past few years, and they're just honestly straight up gorgeous shades, and I can't hate on this palette, but I really do just want to get through it, so hopefully I can like repurchase something of similar shades, but something that I think I can talk to you guys a bit more about on camera so that you guys have kind of some actual options for things that you can go ahead and buy and try and enjoy, because I know a lot of people just simply, no matter how good of quality this is, because of the brand, are unwilling to purchase it. So I do love the palette, don't love the brand that much. I haven't purchased anything since I've purchased this palette, so I just want to get this one out. And I have actually hit pan on this light shade right here. It's in the shade Aura. It's absolutely a stunning shade. I have the whole palette on my lids today, and Aura's the one kind of on the inner corner. It's one of those powders that's really, really beautiful when it's just applied with a sort of flat shadow brush with like no setting spray or anything whatsoever. That's what I did today, and it's a lot more subtle, but you can definitely spray it with some setting spray and it gets a very intense metallic kind of quality to it. So it's a really, really beautiful shadow. A lot of the ones in this palette are just my fave colors because I'm a warm toned kind of girl. So I'm gonna stop rambling on about this. Basically, I just want this out of my collection. Moving on to the one and only thing that I don't have on my face today is a highlighting palette. This is from Sleek. This is our highlighting palette in Midas Touch 090. I don't know like what the other ones that they have are, but this is the one that I have, and it's basically their cool toned highlighting palette. The one thing I don't really think that I'll hit pan on is going to be the silver shade in the corner right here, because it's a cream highlight and it's also silver, and just the silver cream highlight idea is not a big thing for me. But I definitely do like a lot of the other shades, the white, pink, and blue, and so I really just want to hit pan on this because I've had it for a long time. This is probably one of the ones that I've had for over a year, and it does say 24 months, so it's getting towards its expiration date, but it's not quite there yet. So basically in 10 months time it will be there. And yeah, I just kind of want to hit pan on some of these because it's one of my highlighting palettes that I tend to not go for so much, because I think probably because it's cool toned, and I do tend to go towards usually a more golden kind of champagne warm toned highlight, and this one just kind of doesn't get a whole lot of love. So that's really the main reason I just want to show it some love, because it's a really amazing highlighting palette. These highlighters, you guys, they are just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you can see. They're so beautiful. Like, can you tell? They're so beautiful, and they're perfect for my skin tone, so I do love this, and I just want to show it some more love. So moving on to a lipstick. I tend to not go through lipsticks very fast at all because I have quite a few. So I would like to hopefully finish off my Maybelline matte lipstick in Daringly Nude. I mean, I'm pretty dang close. Like, this is pretty good for a lipstick in my opinion. But I've had this one again for I feel like forever. This is one of the the first nude lipsticks I think I ever really bought for myself. Like, before I was into liquid lipsticks, before anything, this was my fave. And it's still my fave, and I have it on today and I think it looks gorgeous, but I've just had it for a little while, and for some reason, you know, I still haven't used it up yet. So I'm just hoping that in 10 months time I can use this up, and maybe I'll find another nude lipstick to love. But so far, this has been my favorite from the drugstore, and in a tube. I don't usually buy tube lipsticks, or I don't really buy lipstick from high-end locations. Like, I don't buy lipstick from Sephora. If I'm buying lipstick, it's either from the drugstore or from ColourPop, if we're being real honest here. So last up is another thing that I did receive in a BoxyCharm. So I guess if I think about it, there was only about 3 things that I got in BoxyCharm out of the 10, so that's fine. And this is the Project Beauty Spray Set and Go Setting Spray. This, like, I just don't use it because I have more setting sprays that I know that I like. So ones that I do really like is the ColourPop setting spray as well. as well. I used it up. I had the Kat Von D Locket setting spray and I really liked that. So those are some really good setting sprays, but this one just kind of sits because I just use other ones. And it's not super huge in size. It's only 2 fluid ounces. So I think I can pretty much go through this hopefully in the next 10 months. And this one's really cool actually because it has a like really strong coconut scent to it. And I used to hate coconut, but I'm deciding this year that I do like coconut. And so this doesn't really bother me that much. And I said it with my face today. The only thing is the spray's kind of weird. I feel like it doesn't spray like directly. It just goes off to the side for some reason. So you have to kind of figure this one out a little bit. But I do think it gives a very nice finish and it sets pretty well. So hopefully by the end of these 10 months, I can get through this one and then just go back to the ones that I really like using. Because I don't really like throwing stuff away that much, even though I know I did just put out a declutter video. But I know this does a good job and I know it is kind of something that I can use and I can enjoy. So I just want to get through it because I have it. That's why. So that pretty much covers it for the things that I want to hit pan on or go through over the next 10 months. I think that I kind of picked a decent range of like formulations for things. So I know I do have quite a few more powder products, but I mean I do still have some sort of creamy liquid products in here as well, which I think is really nice to kind of have that variety and just kind of see which things I go through faster than other things. So I do think that I will maybe do one update video from now in between the 10 months from now. So it's March, so I will update you guys at the end of December or beginning of January next year. Haven't really decided yet. We'll see how it goes. But basically, yeah, I think I'll just do this video and then I'll update you guys halfway through and then another video at the end. If I do go through something completely, I might do an update video around that time. And yeah, I think that covers it. So I'm really excited for my first project pan. It's going to be really interesting to see just basically how quickly I go through these products. I do think my makeup routine might get a little bit repetitive and boring because I do want to go through the same things, and that's okay with me. I picked products that I know that I really like, so I'll just use these during my everyday makeup routine and I think we should be good to go. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any video requests or if you want to just say hello, you can always leave that in the comment section down below. I love chatting with you guys and I will see you in my next video. Bye!